welcome.
So, Fleur,
Yeah?
where do you work at, man?
I work at Cedars-Sinai.
Cedars-Sinai, what is that?
Cedars-Sinai Hospital.
A hospital.
Yeah.
And how long have you been doing that for?
Oh, I've been doing it for the past 3 years.
12 years?
3 years.
Oh, 3 years.
I've been in Cedar for 3 years, but I'm in research for the past 13 years, I think. Yeah.
Wow.
13 years.
Amazing. And what is it that you do on a day-to-day basis?
Well, on a day-to-day basis, I'm mostly specialized in cancer therapy. Like I do targeted immunotherapy. So targeted immunotherapy, we kind of develop mice model of cancer on animals, and then we test all sorts of therapies to just make sure, like to see how we can improve.
Okay.
Different model that can be translated into the clinic and improve patient, like treatment efficacy on patients.
Yeah.
So the treatment consists of identifying what we call biomarkers. So biomarkers, think of a biomarkers as like, how can I say it? Molecules that is specifically overexpressed on cancer cells.
Okay.
And that is minimally or not expressed on normal cancer and normal tissues. Right?
Gotcha.
So once we have this differentiation, therefore we can tailor specific therapy using antibodies, for example. Mm-hmm. We attach drug to these antibodies, and we make this drug to be specifically delivered only in the cells that express this specific biomarker. So the antibody plays the roles of a vehicle. It's like a car. It's like a carrier.
Oh, gotcha.
It brings the toxic molecule, and then based on that, we evaluate like if tumor, how fast tumor are destroyed and stuff like that. Yeah.
Man, that sounds like really, really deep stuff. But how? So do these people get better? Do you try to help them? What is the whole game about? You know.
I mean, I think like most cancer therapy are not working because I think the molecules, the targeted molecules, are mostly synthetic. And if you have to think of a cancer is a disease that is affected by, how can I say it? It's caused by multiple factors, right?
Okay.
But like melanoma is caused by the sun exposure.
Yeah.
For light skinned people, you have also like genetic predisposition. For example, some people with breast cancer, you have BRAF mutation. On melanoma, you have BRAF mutations.
Right.
You also have diet sometimes that can also lead to that type of things. You can also have exposure to radiation. That can be genotoxic, cause mutation and cause cancer. So it's a varied type of things. And these external factors may directly impact mechanism or cellular mechanism in the body that are conducive to transfer information. And current therapies we have, like if you think like chemotherapy, I will take an example, right?
Yeah.
Chemo is like almost taking a bullet and just throwing it and just hoping like it's kill a rapidly dividing cells. That's why you will see most cancer patients, they lose their hair because the epithelial cells are the cells which divide the most rapidly in the body.
Gotcha.
And because cancer cells have the tendency of rapidly dividing, so chemo is only looking for rapidly dividing cells. So that way people get with a lot of side effects.
Gotcha.
So
that's why people's health scares fall
That's
off.
why people say. So I think that, to my understanding, people die more from chemo than they die from the cancer itself.
Holy fuck! So it's all like a would you say like a scam?
Imagine if when they put chemo, it destroys 90% of your normal cells and only reach the 20% of your cancer cells.
Wait, but then why do the fuck do they? Is it just to get money or just what is it then? Why do they people?
It's all about money, and it's also I mean that's my understanding to my
your opinion is valid, man.
Yeah, because we can see the rate of people like even with targeted therapy and precision medicine, that is the most advanced technology right now. We don't get above 20% response clinically. The best we can get, for example, for like cancer, like breast cancer, is no more than 20%. If you think of melanoma, once you reach metastasis, which means it's the ability of a tumor to disseminate from the primary organ where it started to another organ. Most patients have a poor prognosis of less than 6 months. And therapies that we currently having are not good at ameliorating this outcome. So to me, I understand that cancer is a multifactorial disease, and I think most of the things have to be also derived from things like plants. For example, I will take an example, right? You have these plants called Artemisia, for example, that is used for malaria. So this plant is mainly found in China, in Asia and in Africa, right? And there was a study that was performed where they were looking at components. So what the pharma does is usually, for example, people will go, they have a plant, right? They extract the most active component. Let's say there are 40 ones. They will go and do what we call chromatography. So it's a technique that enables people to extract different active components, right? And based on the fractions that these people will have, they will take the most active fractions. So once they have this fraction and they isolate this drug, they're going to characterize this drug, and then they're going to produce a synthetic version of it. So that's what most of the company they do, and then after that they're going to get IP. And when you get the intellectual property, it means actually that you're going to have the ownership of this innovation for the next 20 years. So imagine a clinical trial takes between 10 and 12 years. So it means out of these 20 years, you've got 8 years left. Right? So it means the first 5 years of research, you're going to invest, let's say, $5-6 million. Usually clinical studies, they're around $12 million. That person is left with 8 years. So the reason why the drugs are so expensive is because they're trying to first get all the money they invest and get profit out of it. That's why an episodic treatment of chemo can easily cost you $50,000. So my understanding now is based on that. If you think of Artemisia that I explained, and these people use the plant, and they are able to treat in the plant, I believe that the synergism of all the active components in the plant are important. And by isolating only a single component and treating a patient with that, we set this patient for failure. So, and one of the reasons most of the plant do not get advertised, or this type of discovery don't get the public the public advertisement that they need. It's because it's not good business for pharma.
Of course, it's almost like the difference between a covalent bond and an ionic bond in terms of the chemical composition of the plant, and then isolating in a synthesized form, where just like you said, you don't have all the other good stuff in the natural plant.
Exactly. It's you're going for a war. You've got only one type of weapon. These guys have, how can I say that?
You can talk in analogies, for sure.
So these guys have Kalashnikov, and you've got this normal, gun with 5 bullets. That guy has 200 loaded bullets, and there are five of them. So you need to fight 5 of them, only having one gun. So which means why do we see relapse? So think of relapse as someone going for a fight. Let's say he's going to fight against 20 people. He managed to kill 3 people, but 7 are left.
Exactly. So gotcha. So you're saying that the medicine that they give you is like that one gun with 5 bullets on it, and you're trying to fight the cancer that has the
1,000 soldiers.
1,000 soldiers, and it's
and you just reach you manage to kill 10 out of them. And then after that, they just come and take over. That's why you have the
That's why you have the relapse.
So that's why the people die, and I think it's all about business, because also most disease, if you have to think of diseases, let's say people get disease and they usually give paracetamol when people have headaches, but you have to think of what causes headaches, right? Headaches can be a bacterial infection. You can have headaches because it's a fungal infection. And most time when people go to the hospital, what they get treatment, they get treated by symptoms. So treating the symptoms is not treating the disease, right? So that's why I believe more and more people should be more knowledgeable about What do you have to drink? Like, for example, ginger. What is in ginger that makes ginger a nice thing? What is in, I don't know, like, there are so many plants which have got, like, aloe vera, where is a good market?
Yeah, and it's been used
aloe
since Egyptian
vera is
times.
been used in some history, like,
yeah,
you know.
and the Egyptians used it all the time. Yeah.
The Egyptians use it all the time. You've got, like, photosensitive plant, for example, like hypericin.
Okay.
In Egypt, they what we call photodynamic therapy. It's like a therapeutic treatment whereby, like, it's a light-sensitive compound, and once ingested, can produce almost like oxygen species which are reactive. It's almost like when this compound gets in contact with light, it produces a bomb. So it is a treatment that was as old as ancient Egypt, and that is coming up now clinically. And the advantage of it is light dependent. So the advantage of such a therapy is, like, in cancer, for example, where you want to only destroy cancer cells.
Okay.
This type of therapy are nice because, therefore, even if you give the drug systemically, by systemically I mean if you put the drug in the blood and it goes into all your body, the advantage of having a light-dependent therapy is, like, you can only localize your treatment by the irradiated region.
Okay.
So if you only irradiate the breast, only the breast will be treated and not the rest of the body.
Gotcha.
Because they need activation. So this type of therapy needs to be more encouraged and more also shared with the public. You know?
So, I mean, you must be, like, really jaded with your work. And by that word, I mean jaded is just like, do you feel like you've lost all hope for just humanity, where at first I can sense you, like, got into work because you wanted to help people, but then once you realized how the game went, you're like, fuck, you know, this is fucking hopeless. How what are your thoughts on?
I'm not hopeless because I think, like, people with the current pandemic, you know, there are people who are for vaccination and some are against vaccination, and I think, like, that's maybe awakening people in the sense, like, people need to be more knowledge, need to have more knowledge of what's going on. They should not rely only on social media, because some media is propaganda.
Yeah.
So they should be able to go and search for this knowledge and understand, because it's only by understanding that you know what's going on, right?
Now, do you have a opinion about, like, the vaccine? Are you for it? Anything? Like, it seems from your background, I would like to
say the reality for the vaccine. Not really an opinion in the sense, like, for the COVID-19 specifically. I don't really understand what it is because I start having some difficulty understanding what's going on and what we deal with. Why? I can tell you, for example, like, I heard some studies where they say that they use tuberculosis. Like, if you are vaccinated against tuberculosis, you're protected against vaccine, right?
Okay.
I mean, you're protected against COVID, right? And if you go, some of people come and they say with malaria drug, it's okay. But me, I was very skeptical because I would tell myself, you can't treat a virus with a bacterial treatment, right? Because you give antibiotics to treat bacteria. And you take ARVs, antiretroviral, to take virus. So how come on earth someone tell me, like, a treatment against tuberculosis, which is caused by a bacteria that is called tuberculosis,
yes,
is going to be efficient against COVID? So there is a lot of controversy when I start understanding it. And if you have to think of the Delta variant, for example, that we have now,
yeah,
for me it's like it's a normal. I mean, there is nothing new about it because we know virus mutate.
Yes,
that's why people have seasonal flu vaccines.
Exactly.
So, but the way it's portrayed or it's shown, it's like it's something new. Oh, it's Delta.
Fear
mongering. Oh, it's Omega. Oh, it's
all the alphabets and the fucking thing.
All the alphabets. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, what the people have to know is it will mutate.
Right.
And when it will mutate, different combination will give different levels of aggressivity. Some of them will be not aggressive at all. Some of them will be moderately aggressive, and some of them will be very aggressive.
Right.
And the rate at which they will kill, it's not necessarily because of their aggressivity. It's also from people's health. People have other comorbidities. I mean, by comorbidities, do they have diabetes? Do they have, like, kidney problem? Do they have immune compromised disease? So all these factors determines of how one responds, how one defends against an infection.
Okay.
So that's why I think, like, people should understand. And I don't know like what's the rate of people here who usually frequently get the medical exams and make sure they are always in good health, because people may be dying sometimes not even knowing what they had.
Yeah.
And I speak of it because I know in most developing countries, the average of people going and having this kind of checkups is maybe like, I mean, like it's like 1 out of 10 people that will do it throughout the year.
What are some of the biggest misconceptions that you see people having in the medical field, like the average people that you're like, why do people keep thinking this? And something that you like would like them to understand?
I mean, like they think like, for example, nanotechnology is something new. But when you think of nanotechnology, for example, it's something that is old as Egypt. Because in ancient Egypt, they used to use gold. Gold were using on the doors. People think it was only for royalties or the cups in royalty families. It was not only for that, because it was also because it has antimicrobial properties. So today in the life science, they say like, yes, you got nanoparticles, this is a new field, but there's nothing new about it. It's just like you don't know that thing existed. Right. So it's not something new. It's just something that has been recreated and that has been assembled differently. So to me, it's like, because people don't read, people are not really knowledgeable, and that thing makes people always thinking like, oh, this is something new we've discovered. But wait a minute, if you go back, you see, people will be able to like understand that, you know.
Yeah, I absolutely understand now what you're trying to say. Where are you from, and how long have you been living in the States?
I mean, like, I'm from Cameroon.
Oh, you're from Cameroon?
Yeah, I'm from Cameroon, and I've been here like for 3 years now. So.
And you got all of your education?
I got all of my education in Africa, so I came here. And the reason I was talking about the plants earlier.
Oh yeah,
because Africa has the lowest level of COVID, yet
really?
They have the poorest sanitary equipment.
Explain that to me.
But because they live, I mean, like, first of all, the first youngest population of the world is in Africa.
Okay.
And most of the nature, I mean, the African has got the biggest land in terms of agriculture in the world right now.
Right.
So there is so much land. These plants are available there. These people live from nature. They eat less GMO. So the healthy style, the eating style is more healthy.
Gotcha, because it's more natural.
It's more natural.
No processed foods or anything like that.
And then, they get to have like all these things.
It's amazing, bro.
Okay.
Hey, man, thank you so much for all the information. I really appreciate it.
It's a pleasure.
It's been awesome, bro.
You have a good night.
You too.
Enjoy.